Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about how to not overthink your manifestation and question what's going on around you in your reality, your 3D circumstances, and let go of the things that are holding you back. So really being able to achieve your manifestation and let everything just flow naturally. So I'm going to give you all of my advice and the steps you need to take to be able to get into that state. So do stay tuned to hear everything. Now, first off, I'm going to pop on screen just quickly an overview for any new viewers or people intrigued by coaching who want some extra support one-to-one. I have everything starting from a membership, a monthly membership for the LOA Coaching Darlings, going all the way up to one-to-one support. So everything is on screen, linked in the description box to actually take a look, or clicking the join button right below the screen to become a member. And now let's start the video. If you keep overthinking and analyzing what's going on around you and trying to question and deep dive into your circumstances and what you believe is an objective or factual experience and state, then you're just going to reinforce and keep repeating those negative circumstances back to yourself. And feeding into those negative current circumstances is just going to hold them in place. You are simply, like I said, reinforcing that idea to your mind, and the more you repeat it, the more stuck it's going to get temporarily in your reality, and you're going to slow down the new story coming in. This can also lead to spiraling. You're really risking your mindset not changing and not shifting for the better into a more positive mindset with better thought patterns, which is something I do talk about quite a lot, because it's just a pattern of the way your mind automatically thinks, the automated reactions, even, the kind of, I forgot the term, is it like neural pathways? Like the way your body literally automatically responds to everything going on around you, different experiences, positive and negative. You're just going to keep the same cycle and the same patterns in place if you don't recognize and change the reactions that you have. You don't want to let these circumstances emotionally and mentally control you, because again, if you don't break that cycle and break that pattern, the same thing's going to happen. You're going to panic, you're going to potentially spiral, you're going to react negatively. Sometimes it's very common when your emotions are connected to jump to worst case scenario. The fear takes over, the fear of the unknown or rejection or something going wrong, right? It's a natural human emotion, but you don't want to hold that in place, especially for when, it's a specific person or something really significant and important to you in your life. You don't want to keep repeating and holding on to the idea that, oh no, something's happened, oh, this has gone wrong again, and why did they say this? Why did he do this? Why has she said this to me? You don't want to keep analyzing and overthinking and trying to jump to conclusions that are not even objectively there. They're not objectively true. And things will unfold naturally and the way they're meant to, in steps, in bridge of events, in inspired action, all the circumstances and emotions and events that need to occur to bring your manifestation together will come together naturally as they're supposed to if you stay focused, if you keep working on your mindset. It will unfold in whatever way it's meant to in a decent, relatively quick time frame. So you want to break down the resistance and barriers that you currently have in place that could be slowing that down, and mainly focusing on circumstances and overthinking what's going on, overthinking and replaying a conversation, a social event, something that happened at work, something you saw on TV, anything that might be slowing down your manifestation. You want to make sure you're not feeding into that, because that would be a case of you not letting the circumstances shift and conform, and everything, whatever it is that needs to happen, unfold in its own natural way. So if you're not persisting in that new story, that would be, because you've been overthinking things, you've been mentally reacting to the 3D circumstances, whether it's something that happened 5 years ago, 5 days ago, or something that you're worried is happening and you can't stop thinking about it. You're not taking control of your mental diet. You're not persisting in the new story as you really should be. And you're not applying the consistency that you should be to reverse those bad habits. So by bad habits, I just mean the habit and natural reaction that your mind and body have, maybe gone into when something comes up, a communication from your SP, any kind of emails or updates or whatever it is that might connect to your manifestation. You maybe get a feeling of dread or anxiety, or you start to question and hold it on a pedestal. You want to try and be aware of those reactions and recognize, I'm going to change it around. I'm not feeding into that anymore. I'm going to mentally refocus on the new story. I'm going to persist. I'm going to be consistent, because you don't want to hold those bad habits in place of constantly maybe catastrophizing and thinking negatively and saying, well, you know, these circumstances happen, and then listing to yourself mentally the logical, rational things that occurred. You want to apply a mental diet, and you want to make sure that you're using your mindset to try and get out of those habits. And remember, and you can also remind yourself, maybe even as part of your mental diet, that overthinking is not going to reverse or prevent a bad outcome. So if you question things, you can spend all day long thinking and analyzing and thinking, you know, how do I get to a solution? How do I understand what's happened? You don't need to understand what's happened. If it's negative, just let it go. Thinking about it, focusing on it in any capacity, emotionally, mentally, physically, it's not going to bring anything good. There's even a famous saying, I don't know, is it Gandhi? It's a very positive spiritual saying about, if anyone can correct me in the comments, please do. I've completely forgotten the exact phrase, but it's something about there's a reason that we call it the present. So focusing on the present, because the past, oh no, what is it? No, that's not the quote I'm thinking of. I've completely jumbled this up. Trying to think about the past is only going to bring you, trying to control the future will only bring you anxiety. So I will try and find this quote, because this is really annoying and embarrassing that I've completely forgotten it. It's in my mind, but I've completely jumbled it up. If you guys know what I'm talking about, please leave in the comments. If I can find it and figure it out, I will mention it now or in an upcoming video. It'll probably come to me as soon as I click the button to stop recording for this video. But anyway, yeah, let's just leave that be. But basically, what the saying was, it implies that if you focus on the past, it's just going to take away today's peace. And it's something along those lines, where if you try and analyze and put your mindset to things that have gone wrong, things from the past, you're wasting your present moment, you're wasting your future, you're not focusing on the positives and solutions and just enjoying today's peace. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to clarify there. So as your mental diet, you can literally remind yourself and say to yourself, and remember, even just watching this video, try and take it in that overthinking is not going to guarantee or even bring about any positive outcome. You might come to a logical, intellectual, or rational solution and say, okay, well, this is what the meaning probably is, you know, psychologically, or like I said, intellectually, you know, analyzing maybe social or socioeconomic policies or issues, and see like, and say to yourself, you know, oh, well, because of this in society and that, you know, this is why this happened and that's why this person said that to me. Yeah, you might come to logical things that make sense, but that's just in the conscious mind. You're not reaffirming and reinforcing the new story, the positive story. You're not going to find any positive outcome or long-term solution applying that kind of method. Because it is entirely based on the logical, rational way of thinking, you're only going to reaffirm the current beliefs, your current assumptions. As negative as they may be, you're just going to keep repeating that and holding that in place. And it's also okay to have patience and let things take its own time. You don't have to see the immediate shifts happening. So remember as well, again, as could be part of your mental diet, it takes time. Keep building up the practices, keep applying consistency, because it takes time. It's not something that will probably be a quick 180 shift. It probably won't be overnight, and it does take a little bit of time, especially because it's new ways of thinking and new habits that you're building up. So give yourself time and patience, but the consistency and practice really, really does make a big change. I say this quite a lot, but it really does take self-discipline to change around those bad habits, the negative thought patterns that may have just become natural and automated to you now. And it takes self-discipline to recognize that, put in the effort, put in the mental effort and the repetition and consistency to keep flipping it around, to keep turning around those patterns and saying, nope, I'm not thinking like that anymore. No, that negative assumption isn't true. I don't care what's logical. That's not the truth. And then repeating the new version. And also, circumstances cannot be a permanent limitation. So whatever might be going wrong or going on right now does not mean that's your objective permanent reality. Nothing will change, nothing will improve. That's not the case. Everything's temporary. Circumstances are always changing, even if it's just slightly. Circumstances cannot be a permanent limitation. It cannot hold your manifestation back, ruin anything, or prevent you from being able to manifest. It's limitless, it's objective. So anything that's currently going on right now, remind yourself it's temporary. Your mindset can help shift it along faster, get rid of it quicker, have everything conform more perfectly in your favor, but circumstances are not a permanent limitation. So remember, the more you focus on negatives and things that you don't like in your reality, the more you're holding it in place, the more you're holding it as a truth, as what you deem to be a fact or objective or a block in your manifestation. Take your focus away from that. Stop repeating it to yourself. Stop analyzing it. Don't overthink or question what's going on around you, because it's a habit and a skill and a practice that takes time to build up, to have just a skill and a way of naturally thinking positively, naturally thinking in your favor, in a way of being a powerful creator. It does take time and practice to be able to get into that habit more naturally and tell yourself the delulu manifestations as if they're already true. But literally, the more you practice it, the easier it will be to let go of the negatives. So you can acknowledge that you've had the reaction, or that something's, come up that's not in your favor, or that you're on the verge of spiraling or reacting and saying, oh, this affects me, I don't like this, and then apply your mental diet. Flip it around, turn it back around in your favor, shift your focus positively, so you acknowledge what's gone wrong or your thoughts the way they shouldn't be and that you don't want them to be, and say, okay, I've had a reaction here, and then turn it around. So being aware of it, acknowledging it, and then working to change it. So I think that summarizes everything I wanted to advise you guys about today. I hope you enjoyed that, even with the little rambling quote reference in the middle there. I need to figure out exactly what that is. Normally I'm really good with quotes. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you found it useful, please do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and I will see you next time. Bye!